The door clicked shut with a finality that echoed through the empty gym. And I froze, my heart pounding as Coach Jordan turned the lock. Her eyes, usually fierce on the court, softened into something vulnerable, something that made my breath catch. "Atlas, I can't do this alone anymore," she whispered, and in that moment, I knew our worlds were about to collide in ways neither of us could escape. The fluorescent lights buzzed overhead like a swarm of angry bees, casting long shadows across the polished wooden floor of Jefferson High's gymnasium. It was late afternoon in Willow Creek, a sleepy suburb outside Chicago where everyone knew everyone's business, and the air still smelled of sweat and rubber from the day's volleyball practice. I, Atlas Rivera, a senior with dreams bigger than this town, had volunteered to stay behind to help Coach Jordan pack up the equipment. It was nothing unusual. I'd been her unofficial assistant for months, drawn to her no-nonsense attitude, and the way she commanded respect without raising her voice. But today felt different. The team had left in a chatter of laughter and slamming lockers, leaving just the two of us. Coach Jordan, everyone called her that, but her first name was Riley, was in her mid-30s, with the athletic frame honed from years of competitive play. Her short, tousled brown hair framed a face that could shift from stern to kind in an instant. She'd moved to Willow Creek 2 years ago after a messy divorce, or so the rumors went, and she'd thrown herself into coaching our girls' volleyball team with a passion that inspired us all. As I stacked the volleyballs into the net bag, I glanced over at her. She was sorting through clipboards, her brow furrowed in concentration. "You don't have to do this every time, Atlas," she said, not looking up. "You've got college apps to worry about." I shrugged, trying to play it cool. "It's no big deal. Beats going home to my brothers fighting over the TV." My family was a chaotic blend of Mexican-American heritage and Midwestern grit. Dad worked long hours at the factory, Mom at the diner, and my 2 younger brothers were perpetual tornadoes. Home was loud, loving, but suffocating sometimes. The gym was my escape, and Coach Jordan, well, she made it feel like a sanctuary. We worked in companionable silence for a while, the only sounds the squeak of my sneakers and the rustle of papers. Then as I reached for the last cone, our hands brushed. It was accidental, but the spark that shot through me was anything but. I pulled back quickly, heat rising to my cheeks. "Sorry," I mumbled. She looked at me, then really looked, her green eyes searching mine. "Atlas, are you okay? You've seemed distracted lately." I hesitated. How could I tell her that the butterflies in my stomach weren't just from nerves about the state championships? That I'd started noticing the way her laugh lines crinkled when she smiled, or how her voice dropped an octave when she was serious? I'd always known I was different. Crushes on girls in middle school, avoiding the boys' advances, but in a town like this you kept that locked away. "I'm fine," I lied, forcing a smile. "Just senior year stuff." She nodded but didn't press. Instead, she gestured to the storage room. "Help me carry these in." We lugged the gear inside, the small space cramped with shelves of old trophies and forgotten uniforms. As I set down the bag, she closed the door behind us. Click. The sound was louder than it should have been. "Coach." I turned, confusion knitting my brows. Riley leaned against the door, her expression a mix of exhaustion and something raw. "I need to talk to you, Atlas." Away from prying eyes. My pulse quickened. "About what?" She took a deep breath. "About why I've been pushing you so hard on the court. It's not just because you're talented, though you are. It's because I see myself in you. The drive, the hidden pain. And I think you see me too." The air thickened. I swallowed hard. "I don't know what you mean." "Yes, you do." She stepped closer, her voice barely above a whisper. "I've noticed the way you look at me. And God help me, I've been looking back." Time stopped. My mind raced, denial, fear, excitement crashing together. This couldn't be happening. Not here, not with her. She was my coach, older, experienced. But in that dim storage room with the world locked out, it felt inevitable. We didn't touch, didn't cross that line. But her words hung between us like a promise, or a warning. When we finally emerged, the gym felt different, charged with unspoken secrets. That night, I lay in bed staring at the ceiling, replaying the moment. Willow Creek suddenly felt too small, too judgmental. What if someone found out? My parents were traditional. Church every Sunday, expectations of a normal life. But the pull toward Riley was undeniable. The next day at practice, Everything was normal on the surface. Drills, scrimmages, high-fives. But our eyes met more often, lingering just a second too long. After everyone left, she asked me to stay again. This time, no storage room. We sat on the bleachers talking. Really talking. She shared about her ex-husband, how the marriage had been a facade to please her conservative family in Texas. I knew I was gay since college, she confessed. But I buried it. Thought I could make it work. It destroyed me. I opened up too, about the girl in sophomore year I'd had a crush on, how I'd pretended it was nothing. I feel like I'm living a lie, I admitted. You're not alone, she said, squeezing my hand briefly. It was platonic but electric. Over the weeks, our after-school help sessions became confessionals. We'd talk about books, dreams, the future. I wanted to study journalism at NYU, escape to the city. She dreamed of coaching at a college level, leaving small-town scrutiny behind. One evening, as rain pattered against the gym windows, she played an old playlist on her phone. Indie folk tunes that spoke of longing and loss. We danced awkwardly, laughing at first, then slowing as the music turned melancholic. Her arms around me felt like home. I shouldn't be doing this, she murmured but didn't pull away. Neither should I replied, my head on her shoulder. It was the start of something beautiful and dangerous. As fall turned to winter, our bond deepened. Stolen moments. A brush of fingers in the hallway. Notes left in my locker with quotes from Virginia Woolf. We were careful, never crossing into physical intimacy beyond hugs that lingered. But the emotion was there, raw and real. Then came the first crack. My best friend Mia noticed. You're always with Coach Jordan. What's up with that? Just helping out, I deflected. She raised an eyebrow. Be careful, Atlas. Rumors fly fast here. I brushed it off, but doubt crept in. What were we doing? Riley was my mentor, my crush, my everything. But society wouldn't see it that way. The state championships approached, tension mounting. Our team was strong, but so was the pressure. During a late practice, Riley snapped at me over a missed serve. Focus, Atlas. This isn't a game. Hurt, I stormed off to the locker room. She followed. I'm sorry. It's not you, it's us. This is getting too complicated. Then let's stop, I said, tears stinging. I can't. She pulled me into a hug, and for the first time our lips brushed in a tentative kiss. It was soft, scared, but full of promise. We pulled apart, breathless. We have to be smart, she said. But smart wasn't in the cards. Winter in Willow Creek brought snow that blanketed the town like a hush over secrets. The gym became our cocoon, insulated from the biting cold outside. Practices intensified as we geared up for regionals. But for Riley and me, every session was laced with undercurrents of affection. We'd exchange glances during team huddles, her praise feeling personal, my spikes driven by a desire to make her proud. One Saturday, after a grueling scrimmage, the team dispersed early due to a snowstorm warning. Riley and I stayed to review game tapes in her office, a small room off the gym filled with plaques and photos from her playing days. The heater hummed, and outside, flakes swirled like confetti. As the video played, our knees touched under the desk. You're improving so much, she said, pausing the footage on a perfect dig I'd made. Thanks to you. I turned to her, our faces inches apart. The kiss that followed was deeper than before, born of months of restraint. It was gentle, exploratory. No rush, just the quiet unfolding of feelings long suppressed. We broke apart when her phone buzzed, a weather alert. We should get home, she said reluctantly. But the roads were icing over. Stay here until it clears? I suggested. We ended up talking all night, wrapped in blankets on the office couch. She shared stories of her college years at UCLA, the freedom of California contrasting with Texas repression. I fell in love with a teammate once, she admitted. It ended badly, outed, shunned. I vowed never again. Why me then? I asked. Because you're brave, Atlas. You make me want to be brave too. I told her about my fears, coming out to my family, the judgment in a town where the biggest event was the annual corn festival. They expect me to marry some guy, have kids. What if they hate me? They won't. Love like yours, ours, is worth fighting for. Dawn broke with roads plowed, but our connection solidified. From then on we met secretly. drives to nearby Chicago for anonymous dinners, walks in secluded parks. Riley introduced me to queer literature. Audre Lorde, Alison Bechdel, opening my world. But cracks widened. At school, whispers started. A teacher saw us leaving together too often. Mia confronted me again. Atlas, are you involved with her? That's messed up. No. I denied, but guilt gnawed. Then betrayal struck. Riley's ex-husband, Mark, showed up unannounced. He'd tracked her down, claiming he wanted closure. Over coffee in her apartment, I'd snuck over, they argued. I hid in the bedroom, heart hammering. You're seeing someone, aren't you? He accused. It's none of your business, she snapped. But he found my notebook I'd left behind. Atlas Rivera? A student? Riley, this could ruin you. He left, threatening to report her if she didn't reconcile. Panicked, Riley called me. We have to stop. It's too risky. No, I pleaded. We can fight this. But she distanced herself. Practices became cold, her feedback curt. I felt shattered, lashing out at teammates, grades slipping. The regional tournament arrived amid a blizzard of emotions. We won the first match, but in the semifinals I twisted my ankle. Riley rushed to my side, her concern breaking through the facade. In the medic tent alone, she whispered, I miss you. I can't do this hot and cold, I said, tears flowing. I'm scared, Atlas. For both of us. We lost the game, but in the locker room aftermath something shifted. Teammates rallied around me, and Mia pulled me aside. Whatever's going on, I'm here for you. That night I came out to Mia. To my surprise, she hugged me. I suspected. You're my friend, no judgment. Emboldened, I confronted Riley at her home. Mark doesn't control us. We deserve happiness. She pulled me inside. You're right. But we need boundaries until you graduate. We reconciled stronger. Spring thawed the snow, mirroring our thawing fears. We planned carefully. I'd go to NYU, she'd apply for college coaching jobs nearby. But drama escalated. Mark followed through, anonymously tipping the school board about inappropriate conduct. An investigation launched. Riley was suspended pending review. The town buzzed. Rumors flew. Coach Jordan and a student? My name surfaced. Parents called meetings. My dad confronted me. Is this true, Mija? Tears streamed as I confessed. I love her, Dad. She's good for me. He was silent then. I don't understand, but you're my daughter. We'll figure it out. Mom was harder, invoking faith, but Dad mediated. At the hearing, I testified voluntarily. Coach Jordan inspired me, believed in me. Our friendship crossed lines, but it was mutual, consensual. She's human. Riley spoke too. I accept responsibility. But love isn't a crime. The board ruled. Probation for Riley, no charges since I was 18. But she resigned, planning to move. Heartbroken, I visited her. Don't leave. I have to. For now. But New York? I'll follow. We parted with a promise, the pain acute but hopeful. Graduation came. In the crowd, Riley watched from afar. My speech touched on resilience, subtly nodding to her. Summer brought letters, calls. She got a job at a community college in New Jersey, close to NYU. As I packed for NYU, Willow Creek felt like a chapter closing. The humid Illinois summer buzzed with cicadas, a soundtrack to my mixed emotions. Riley and I talked daily, our conversations a lifeline amid the chaos. I miss your smile, she'd say, her voice warm over the phone. But distance bred doubt. Freshman orientation in New York was a whirlwind, diverse faces, freedom intoxicating. I joined the LGBTQ+ club, met girls who were out and proud. One, Lena, a sophomore with piercings and a sharp wit, flirted shamelessly. You're cute, Atlas. Coffee sometime. I hesitated, loyal to Riley. But as weeks passed, her calls grew sporadic. She was buried in her new job, coaching a Division III team. It's hectic here, she'd apologize. Jealousy crept in when I saw her social media. Photos with colleagues, a young assistant coach named Sarah smiling too closely. Was it paranoia? Thanksgiving break, I flew home. Riley drove up from Jersey for a secret rendezvous in Chicago. We met at a cozy cafe overlooking Lake Michigan, wind whipping our hair. You look amazing, she said, pulling me into a hug. We walked hand in hand along the shore, Anonymity a gift. How's school? She asked. Overwhelming but good. Made friends. Any special friends? Her tone was light but eyes probing. Just you, I assured. That night in a hotel room we talked deep into the hours. No intimacy beyond cuddles, boundaries still held, but emotions poured out. I feel like I'm losing you to the city, she confessed. You're not. But you seem distant too. It's the job. Sarah. She's just a colleague. The name stung. Just. Yes. Trust me. I did, but seeds of doubt sprouted. Back at NYU, Lena persisted. We studied together, her energy infectious. One party buzzed on cheap wine, she kissed me. I pulled away. I have someone. Who? The mysterious older woman. Guilt consumed me. I called Riley, confessed. It meant nothing. Silence. Then, Atlas, maybe we need space. You're young, explore. No. I love you. I love you too. But this hurts. We hung up, rift widening. Winter break, I stayed in New York, interning at a newspaper. Riley visited, but tension simmered. Arguments erupted over trivialities. My late nights, her workaholic ways. Then the betrayal. Scrolling her feed, I saw photos from a team retreat. Riley and Sarah, arms around each other, captioned great times with the best. Heart-shattering, I confronted her via text. What's going on with Sarah? Nothing. Jealousy. Proof says otherwise. She called. Sarah's a friend. But Atlas, this long distance, it's killing us. Is there someone else? Pause. We've kissed. Once. I was lonely. The world tilted. How could you? I'm sorry. I messed up. I hung up sobbing. Betrayal cut deep, echoing her past wounds. Weeks of no contact. I threw myself into school, dated Lena casually to numb the pain. But it felt hollow. Spring brought clarity. At a queer rights rally in Washington Square Park, chants of empowerment resonated. I realized love demanded forgiveness, growth. I drove to Jersey unannounced. Riley opened her door, shocked. Atlas. We need to talk. Inside, tears flowed. I betrayed you like Mark betrayed me, she admitted. I was scared of commitment. I get it. But we can heal. We spent the weekend rebuilding, honest talks, walks in blooming parks. No more secrets, we vowed. Back together, stronger. I introduced her to friends. She visited NYU games. But drama lingered. My family visited, meeting Riley. Dad was wary but polite. Mom prayed silently but accepted. A scandal hit her college. A player accused a coach of favoritism. Though not her, scrutiny intensified. Riley confided fears of being outed again. We weather storms together, I said. Summer internship in Chicago brought us closer geographically. We rented a small apartment, testing cohabitation. Mornings with coffee, evenings cooking tacos, domestic bliss. Yet conflict arose. My ambition clashed with her caution. NYU's great, but stay safe, she'd say. I'm not hiding anymore. A fight escalated. You're pushing me away. No, I'm pulling you forward. We separated briefly, reflecting. Reconciliation came at a pride parade in Chicago. Amid rainbows and cheers, we found each other. I want a future with you, she said. Me too. Fall semester at NYU hummed with energy. The city a vibrant backdrop to our evolving love. Riley commuted weekends, her Jersey team thriving under her guidance. We'd explore Brooklyn's queer scenes. Drag shows, poetry slams. Reveling in acceptance Willow Creek lacked. But shadows loomed. Mark resurfaced, emailing Riley threats. I know about the girl. Pay up or I expose you. Blackmail. We panicked. Ignore him, I urged. But he leaked rumors to her college. An anonymous tip. Coach Jordan in relationship with former student. Investigation reopened old wounds. Riley's job hung in balance. We fight back, I declared. As a journalism major, I researched, gathered evidence of his harassment. With the lawyer's help, we filed a restraining order. Court in Texas was grueling, but we testified together. This is harassment, Riley stated firmly. Judge ruled in our favor. Mark backed off. Victory bonded us, but stress took toll. Riley's health faltered, migraines, insomnia. I'm tired of fighting, she admitted one night in our tiny NYC walk-up. Then let's build instead. We dreamed big. Marriage when ready, maybe kids via adoption. But realism hit age gap careers. Holiday season amplified emotions. Christmas with my family in Willow Creek. Riley joined, nervous. Around the tree, Dad raised a toast. To love in all forms. Mom hugged her. Welcome. Tears of joy. New Year's in Times Square. Ball drop symbolizing fresh starts. We kissed at midnight, world cheering. But high drama struck spring. I landed a prestigious internship at the New York Times, requiring long hours. Riley's teammate nationals, travel intensive. Distance again. Miscommunications. Missed calls, terse texts. Then a bombshell. Sarah, the assistant, confessed feelings to Riley. I turned her down, Riley assured. But doubt resurfaced. Prove it. Trust eroded. Climax hit during her nationals in California. I flew out, surprising her. Hotel lobby, I overheard Sarah. Riley, we could be great. Riley. No. I love Atlas. Relief washed over me. But entering the room, argument ensued. Why didn't you tell me sooner? I handled it. Like with the kiss? Old wounds reopened. Maybe we're toxic, I yelled. She cried. No. We're human. We parted angry, me flying back alone. Weeks of silence. I focused on work but emptiness gnawed. Then a package. A journal from Riley, filled with letters chronicling our journey. From the gym door to now, I've loved every moment. Forgive me. I called. Yes. Come home. She did, quitting her job for a NYC position. Reunion was cathartic. Tears, laughter, vows to communicate. Summer brought peace. We volunteered at a queer youth center, giving back. Seeing teens like young me inspired. One evening in Central Park, picnic under stars. Marry me? She asked, ring in hand. Yes. Engagement news spread. Family celebrated. Friends toasted. But life tested. My grandma passed, grief hitting hard. Riley supported, her strength my anchor. In mourning we grew closer, appreciating fragility. As wedding plans unfolded, simple ceremony in the Hamptons, reflections deepened. Our story, from locked gym door to open hearts. Highs and lows taught resilience, forgiveness. The wedding day dawned bright over the Hamptons beach, waves whispering promises. Guests, family, friends from Willow Creek and NYC, gathered under a white tent adorned with wildflowers. I walked the aisle in a flowing gown, Riley in a tailored suit, her eyes shining with love. Vows exchanged. Through betrayals and triumphs, you've been my coach, my love. I choose you forever. Reception danced into night, toasts echoing our journey's drama and depth. Honeymoon in California, UCLA revisit for Riley, San Francisco pride for me. We hiked redwoods, symbolizing growth from roots entangled. Back in NYC, we settled into married life. I graduated, landing a reporter job. Riley coached at a progressive high school, mentoring queer athletes. Challenges persisted. Societal biases, stares, comments, but we advocated, speaking at events. A year in, we adopted a rescue dog, practice for future family. Then the ultimate test. Fertility struggles when pursuing IVF. Emotional roller coaster. Disappointments, hopes dashed. But support networks buoyed us. We're enough, Riley said during a low. Eventually success. Twins on the way via surrogate. Pregnancy months were joyous, anxious. Birthday, holding our babies, Elena and Mateo, completed us. Years blurred. Kids' first steps, school plays. We moved to a Connecticut suburb, balancing city dreams with family. Reflecting on that gym door, I marveled. What began as help evolved into profound love, weathered by betrayal, fortified by forgiveness. Riley's coaching inspired a book I wrote, Behind Closed Doors, a story of love and resilience. It became a beacon for others. In quiet moments, we'd sit on our porch, hands linked. Worth every tear, she'd say. Our story, dramatic and romantic, ended not in tragedy, but in humanity's triumph, love prevailing. As elders, we watched our kids thrive. Elena, an artist, Mateo, an activist. Grandkids brought new joy. In twilight years, Riley passed first, peacefully. I held her, whispering, "You shut the door but opened my heart." Grief profound but legacy enduring. I volunteered, sharing our tale. Death came gently for me, reunion imagined in stars. Our love. A testament to courage, emotion, humanity. American dream redefined.